y'all doing? How y'all feeling? What's the vibe? Let me know down in the chat. I do want to know. I do care about you guys, so I want to know how you feeling, how you doing, how are the energies treating you? Okay. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and get into our collective reading for today's live. Okay, massive shifts and reveals. Alrighty, so no personal readings today, and it is going to be a short live. Okay, so we're gonna try to get this message out, the full message out in this time that we have. Okay, so let's get straight up into it. All right, okay. I call upon our great divine, our most high, our divine ancestors, and our divine spirit guides to give us the divinely accurate messages that each and every soul needs to hear today. Not what they want to hear, spirit, what they need to hear in order to grow, learn, and evolve along their journeys. Please allow me to deliver these messages in a divinely eloquent manner that allows for each and every soul to understand and interpret the messages so they can be in accordance with your will, Lord, for their destiny timeline. In Jesus' name we pray, amen. And so it is. Ashe. What's up, spirit? Alrighty, how y'all doing? How y'all feeling? Let me know down in the chat. I do want to know. We are just doing our collective consciousness insight into these massive shifts and reveals. Okay. Let us see what the good Lord has for us today. Boom, period. Oh, also, if you are participating in reading the Epstein files, right? I do have a mindfulness playlist with over 200 different videos, right, on how to do mindfulness. I just learned that I can organize it better for you guys inside the playlist and like make labels and stuff like that for you. So I'm gonna go ahead and do all of that work as well so that it's very easy for you guys to know where to start, you know, how to work, where to work up with. Okay, so I am gonna go through and do that for you guys. I'm sort of thinking like the boss up playlist that might take me more time to do, right? But right now I feel like the most important playlist to organize for you guys and put labels on and make sure you guys know where to start and where you progress to, right, is going to be our mindfulness playlist, right? Because the mindfulness playlist has all the meditations, breath works, yoga, right? It has a lot of things in there because it's over 200 videos, and I don't want you guys to feel overwhelmed when you get in the playlist and you're like, I'm a first time, this is my first time practicing mindfulness. There's 200 different videos. Where do I start? Right now, usually if you ask me, I do tell you to find the guided meditations, but I want to make it easier so that it's like set up for you, like you don't have to go searching high and low for those guided meditations and stuff like that. Okay, so I will be working on that, especially if you are participating in reading the Epstein files, right? You need to be grounding your energy, practicing mindfulness, keeping your nervous system in check, okay, at this time, right? Because it's a lot of things going on, but they are trying to use collective fear, anger, the sadness, right? They're trying to use the lower vibrational energies that, you know, your emotions give off, right? When you're viewing those kind of documents, right? Because it's all one big game to them, right? This is just so that they can try to, you know, manipulate the outcome. However, that's not going to work. Okay. So because we're too aware, the spiritual community right now is literally on their necks. Okay, so they're not gonna be able to shift this in their favor. Like, it's just not happening, right? Welcome in, how y'all doing, how y'all feeling, what's the vibe? So I'm getting into this reading about massive shifts and reveals that are coming out here. Okay, but spirit is wanting you to know that, yeah, you should be practicing mindfulness at this time. Okay? Alrighty. So we're just doing the collective reading. We already know people with very financial success here, prosperity, wealth. Okay. We already know they're being revealed here at this time with these massive shifts for what they invest their money into. We already know this. If you've been watching along, paying attention, right? Then it was pretty obvious who was doing these things. Hi, Kim, how you doing? How you feeling? Let me know down in the chat. But yes, like it was pretty obvious who was out here making these inaccurate judgments about the collective, about the grief the collective was able to handle, right? What we were able to transmute. Okay, there is, yeah, like this is leading to their downfalls, right? And I'm getting a sense of panic, right? Like they are in an energy of panic at this time because their dream illusion bubble is being popped. Like that's why they are in this state of panic, right? Is because everything, this illusion they built around all of us, right, being their cog workers in the machine, right, us subconsciously bowing down to them and praising them, you know what I'm saying? They built this around themselves, this world, everything that they built with the societies here, they literally, it was all their illusion to be rich, right, to have this money, to have this power, right, that was all an illusion. And this yeah, they're struggling, they definitely are struggling with this at this time, because with all these reveals too, I don't even, if you've been looking in deep, right, okay, what you call it, the Rothschild's name has been exposed in the Epstein files, right? If you don't know who the Rothschild is, you go ahead, look them up, go ahead, go see what they involved in. One of the first families to get powerfully wealthy. Okay, so I would look into them. Okay, because it's that Epstein files is gonna reveal the Illuminati, the 13 first families that get powerful and respect words, powerful, right, and wealthy. Okay, they were the first ones, and then they went ahead and monopolized it, right? They didn't want nobody else feeling the way they was feeling, you know what I'm saying? They got greedy. Let's put it at that. They got greedy, they got gluttonous, okay, and they were like, why share when I can have it all to myself, right? Very celestial dragons for the One Piece fans out there. We're just doing the collective reading, hun, right now, okay? Right now about the massive shifts and reveals, okay? So boom. Yeah, Spirit is asking the collective to keep an optimistic mindset. See it, believe it, achieve it. Motivation, determination. Like this is like your soul is on fire, right? Keep looking, right? Keep paying attention to what they don't want to get out, right? That's they don't want, okay, people to know how they've literally pulled wool over the collective's eyes for generations on top of generations on top of generations. Okay, like when I say generations, think thousands and thousands and thousands of years. Okay, we're not just talking about the last 200 years. Okay, we're not just talking about the last United States of America's history. We're not just talking about that. We're talking about thousands and thousands of years. Okay, right? So making sure we're paying attention right now is going to be very vital in this spiritual warfare and this psychological warfare, because they're hoping that the truth sounds ludicrous. They're hoping the truth is so freaking crazy, and that they brainwash the collective enough that the truth is just like, ah, nah, couldn't be. You know what I'm saying? They're hoping and praying. Okay, hoping and praying that y'all are literally oblivious to the truth. That's what they're hoping right now, because they know that they are being forced to be transparent, but they don't want to be. That's why they're redacting things out of the files, right? They're redacting these deletes names instead of redacting the victims names, right? Which is by law what you're supposed to do, right? You're not supposed to save the perpetrators, but reveal the people who were actually hurt by the actions in the files, right? In those documents, right? So it's really weird, right, that they're doing it. Okay. I do like matcha. But think you have a great day. Hope you have a blessed day, Aria. Okay, so yeah, what you call it? They are literally hoping and praying the collective will let them slide, right? That's why they're taking their time releasing the files, even though they were supposed to do it over a month ago, right? All over 6 million files were supposed to be released over a month ago, right? But they're let me enact, right? Like it's no big deal, which is why you guys have to keep demanding justice in your soul and your heart, and you have to keep looking for it, right? Don't give up on that. Okay, boom. Look, oh, how the tables have turned. I love this card. Like, seriously. We're only doing the collective reading right now, guys, okay? Alright, so no personal questions today. Which the tables have turned, right? Their projected fears and mockery turned into submission of an obsession, right? That yeah, these people, they don't know what to do right now, because they're literally watching as everything they built to keep power, right, to keep their fame, okay, look, to keep their flowers, okay, and their gold medals, right, to keep these things um and being awarded for their quote unquote achievements, right, they kept this illusion bubble going around the world, okay. Right, and especially with all the different organizations, especially the ABC organizations, okay, it's like their job to make sure this illusion stays in perfect condition. However, with all of us paying attention to the wealth and riches, that to the where the money goes, right, follow the money and see where it leads, okay. Yeah, these people are not getting away with this. As you can see, ICE is investing in a concentration camp right behind a Amazon building. Okay, so right, industrial labor, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, we are keeping our eyes on them because we want the truth revealed. As soon as we take our eyes off of them, right, that's when they get to hide. That's when they get to cower. That's when they don't get to be as truthful as spirit would like them to be, because we are trying to bring balance back to this planet. Okay, boom. Yeah, this is all I tell you. Meditate, 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 meditate. Okay, alrighty. Hey, Miss M, how you doing? How you feeling? Let me know down in the chat, okay? Yeah, during this time, meditation is going to be a vital part, okay? Using your energy to create and express, right? Versus just wallowing in those emotions, okay, is going to help you a lot as well. So whenever you're in a state of fear, in a state of anger, right, make sure that you are doing meditations, you're channeling that into power, you're channeling that into creation. Okay, that's how they will not be able to use your emotions, your energy against you. Okay, is if you channel it into something else, into something better. Okay, remember, we're dealing with very cowardice individuals, very cowardice beings. Okay, these are beings that rather hide in the shadows than admit their truth. Okay, so all we have to do is keep being the courageous ones. Okay, keep demanding the truth no matter how ugly it is, right? Okay, staying grounded, which is comes back around to the message of meditate, meditate, meditate. Keep your survival, your fight, your flight, right, your nervous system, okay? Keep it in check. Gotta keep that in check. And with these, both of these go hand in hand, right? Whenever this one is feeling out of whack, right? You're gonna have to get this one in action to put these back in balance, okay? Meditations for each chakra. And then I'm gonna make a video for you guys for each chakra, right? A demonstration from this book for chakra healing. Okay, it's simple. I'm not gonna just read it to you from this book. I'm gonna actually guide you through it so that you know how to use it. Okay, because anybody can read it to you, and you still trying to comprehend how to actually put it in action, right? So I'm gonna demonstrate it for you guys, and I'll post it on YouTube, okay? For each chakra. Anything else from this deck? Into the cosmos. Spiritual disillusion, reintegrate fragments of your soul, release of the ego attachments and all self-doubt, harmony and interconnectedness. All right, so Spirit is also saying if you're really into astrology and you're paying attention to how the planets are moving at this time, and where they're at, their transits, right? You're looking into this. It is literally showing you within the stars how this is going to unfold, how the rest of this year is going to unfold, right? With the truths being revealed, right? With these massive shifts coming, people reintegrating the fragments of their souls, the things that were stolen from them coming back to them, right? Whether that's energy, whether that's fragments of their soul, whether that's someone that's siphoned off their energy, right? They all of this is being given back to the collective. Everything that was taken from the collective is being brought back to the collective. Okay. These ego attachments are being released here. Right, we're gonna see a lot more of this. We're gonna see a lot more ego deaths just become the norm, with especially with all this information, this interconnectedness, right? A lot of this having to deal with the God consciousness, right? So many people are waking up in the God consciousness, right? Which is going to affect every other human being, right? The more of us that wake up, the more of us that are affected because we all share the same mental space, right? Regardless if you think it's separate, you know what I'm saying? But if you don't know, most ideas go to the graveyard to perish, right? But here's the thing, if you take it to the grave, right, the good Lord is just going to give it to somebody else to do, right? That's why if you get an idea from the good Lord, do not sleep on it. Okay, the good Lord is asking for you to do it, but don't think there ain't somebody else that can do it. Okay, alrighty, that's what we have to remember. I always give the example of Darwin, right, when he found out about evolution. Okay, because remember, science explains spiritual topics. Okay, right? The bodies were built somehow, right? Okay, so God built the bodies in an energetic state, right? But there's a physical explanation for what happened as well. Okay, so Darwin figured that out, okay, but somebody else, who was literally just in the woods one night, okay, channeled that same idea about evolution, right? And they were like, you know what I'm saying? Like, wait. So they contacted Darwin and were like, I know you do research on this kind of thing. I'm thinking about revealing this to the science community. Their uppity stuff, right? The Matrix Society scientists and how they gather and share their research. Okay. He was like, I'm thinking about going to the convention and sharing this, right? And Darwin got scared because Darwin was like, I've been doing like 30 plus years of research on this, and some new guy is about to sweep in and take it. Like, this is so they went, like, uh he wasn't grimy about it. He could have been grimy about it because it was a letter that he got sent. You know what I'm saying? The guy sent him a letter. He could have been grimy about it. He could have burned the letter and went out and you know what I'm saying, went to the convention and been like, this is my idea only. I'm the only one who ever thought of this. You know what I'm saying? He could have done that, but instead he found a close friend to mediate between the two of them and basically let the science community choose whose discovery it was, right? But it's not really a discovery, it's awareness, right? So whoever became aware of this first, okay, and they gave it to Darwin because Darwin had over 30 years of research under his belt to prove that what he was talking about, whereas the other scientists literally, swear to God, in the forest one night was like, Eureka! Like, just a random Eureka moment, okay? Like, and that was God. That was God. Like, okay, Darwin, you take it too long on this. Let me go ahead and give you some pep to your step, right? So definitely there. That is an example of how God universe will literally use the God consciousness to move one idea to somebody else, right? So just pay attention when you do get ideas, right? That is God universe trying to give those to you to create in this space, right? But if you don't want it, God universe will always give it to somebody else who do want it. All right? And that's just fair, you know what I'm saying? Because that's basically you saying you not doing anything, working or achieving anything towards it is basically you saying you forfeiting it, right? That you don't want it. That's what it's basically telling the universe. And that's why some people, right? That's why when people are destiny swapping, they know that, right? They know if you don't do any work towards your destiny, if you don't do any work towards those ideas, it's gonna go to somebody else, right? But what they're trying to do when they're doing a destiny swap is make sure it goes to them, right? They want to make sure that whatever it is you were supposed to do on this planet doesn't just go to somebody random that God universe chooses, right? That it goes to them specifically. That's why it's called a destiny swap, right? Which is just for that lifetime. Um, and it will only be successful if the person who is forfeiting it actually forfeits it, right? And never works towards it, okay? Because as soon as that person comes back for their throne, it's wraps. Don't even worry about it. If they come back for their throne, it's theirs. Simple. Right? It's theirs automatically. God universe will give it right back. Right? But you know how many people have not coming back from a destiny swap, right? Because whoever is orchestrating it tries to make sure that that person is either mentally, spiritually, or physically incapable of ever coming back, right? Because that would induce their own karma, right? And basically what we're seeing, the deletes the governments go through at this time, right? Where collectively we are calling our power back. Collectively, we are integrating the light and the shadow. Collectively, right, we are bringing harmony to this planet, and we're taking what's ours back, right? So collectively, you know what I'm saying? They're watching the collective literally go, no, you can't have this no more. I want my throne back. You know what I'm saying? And what can they do? They have to give it back. You know what I'm saying? False prophets have to give it to the actual prophets. They can't, false kings cannot be kings anymore. You know what I'm saying? If the real kings and queens come out and they demand their thrones back, right? The gods and goddesses of this realm demanding their thrones back, they have no choice but to give them back, right? Um, and that's how it always was going to play out for them, because that's how God always intended it to. Um, of course, this has been a very long time coming, right? You saying this, you're probably wondering, this has been going on for eons, right? So why wait till now, right? But genuinely, it's been a chess game. Okay, it's been one of those chess games, okay, that it's like, all right, I see you out here making moves, but the creator is like, you're still not smarter than me. I'm gonna make this move then. Like the creator, the divine, was literally like always 20 steps ahead of them, and thinking long con versus the right then moment, right? Because humanity needed to learn these lessons as a whole, right? And so it wouldn't be beneficial for the creator to have done this sooner, until humanity really got it through their thick skulls that we need a world peace on this planet, okay? Like, there was really no point until we could all collectively agree that we should be working towards world peace, right? That is what the creator was waiting for, okay, to have all of this start coming out right now, okay? So you're like, why not sooner? Because humanity wasn't ready sooner. As you can see, we just watched slavery turn into a different form of slavery. You know what I'm saying? Slavery never ended. What you mean humanity? No, humanity was not ready until right now. Okay, when we all collectively agree that slavery should not be a thing at all. You know what I'm saying? And we aren't going to let it slide, right? We're not going to allow the system to integrate slavery in a way anymore that is like harmful to the minorities, to the, the diasporas, right? We're not doing that anymore, right? There is no more integrating slavery into the jail system, into the school to prison pipeline. There's no more of that. You know what I'm saying? We're not going to allow it to transform, to take another shape on this planet. It's done. It's finito. Okay, it's no longer allowed. Okay, and that point in human consciousness, right, and God consciousness, and our collective consciousness is what the creator was waiting for, right? Where we can all collectively agree on that point. Right. At this point, I'm just skeptical about how many humans are actually in the MAGA call. You know what I'm saying? Because of it, when they start revealing things about how they do have clones and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? This is going to be one crazy reveal here that's going on, right? And yeah, I like this because the sun has these waves with the crown chakra, with these, okay, if I could pick up the card, with the waves coming off the sun, that reminded me of the solar flares of 2026. 2026 is going to have the most powerful solar flares, the most gamma rays you ever are going to experience in your lifetime. Okay, this is going to be bringing a lot of clarity, okay, a lot of downloads, a lot of truths through the crown chakra, okay, a lot of divine energy, right? This is why they try so hard to block the sun, because they don't want anybody to evolve. They don't want you to use those gamma rays, right? They don't want you to know that your DNA can evolve with it, right? They don't want you to know anything about that, even though they literally played with you in your face about the hawk, right? So yeah, this they can't. I don't know why they think that these clouds that they're making with the particles in them, right, the chemtrails. I don't know why they are assuming that this is working, right? Like I don't know. So definitely look into these different ABC agencies who are going to have to come out of, especially with us demanding so much truth. Okay, they're gonna have to come out and tell us these things. Okay, so don't take your eyes off the prize. Okay, the prize is truth, the entire truth, no matter how nasty and ugly it gets. We need the entire truth. That's how humanity will grow, learn, evolve, heal, and move past it. Okay, all right, that's the only way, is if we know the entire truth. Okay, so you know what I'm saying. Do not allow them in your hearts to keep getting away with this, right? Pay attention to what they're doing. Okay, the more eyes on them, the less they can hide. The less they can hide, right? And this is worldwide. I'm not just talking about in the United States of America. I am talking about the entire world. Watch how your country is moving. Watch how your government and your government officials are moving. Watch how they're moving at this time. Okay, watch what they're involved in. Okay, because a lot of people are getting exposed, right? Already, you know what I'm saying? Kendrick Lamar exposed Drake, you know, like last year. So that one we were like, yeah, we figured. And Drake is so comfortable telling y'all about voodoo. Like, I don't know if you guys peeped that in his songs. He will literally be like, what was that? I think it was his the one with the, we'll say, dagger talk. Okay, I don't know how TikTok's feeling today. We'll say dagger talk. Okay, you know, a dagger is a type of, okay. So in that song, literally in the first few lines, it says, I made millions off of dummies. So I know people who listen to Drake ain't paying attention, because if the first couple lines say I made millions off of dummies, I'm already about to crash out on this song. Because what did you just say? I know you did this. You called your fans a bunch of dummies because you made millions off of your fans. Remember that. The music you made was purchased and listened to by your fans, right? Was consumed by your fans. That's why you got millions. That's why you out here on these big stages and stuff with all these concerts, and they paying to come see you at the concerts. Why are you doing ritualistic stuff to them? And that's what I'm like, wait, you really out here calling them dummies to their face, and people are not paying attention. And that's why they think the collective is sheep. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't tell me you listen to a song and it say I made millions off of dummies, and you not, huh? Immediately, what did they say? Like, hello? Let me pause you right there. I could go ahead and retract everything. Don't get yourself caught up. Okay? Like, I wish the collective would call back their power from these dastardly people. Like, I wish they would. Like, seriously. If you ever listen to a Drake song, please call back your energy and your power, bro. Snatch it from him. He don't deserve it. Okay? Nobody on that song deserves it, because what the heck? Talking about you make millions off of dummies. Nah. You know. And so later in that song, the same song, it said I make millions off of dummies. Later in that song, it also says I hit him with the voodoo curse. Like, you did what? You know what I'm saying? You hit who with what? The voodoo curse? Drake, chill out, chill out, chill out. You got way too much dip on your chip. Way too much dip, man. Because I know you ain't talking about no voodoo curses over here. Like, Hey, how you doing? How you feeling? Like that's one of the things that be blowing me is like when these artists, right, these Hollywood occult stars will literally tell you to their face who they are. Like, okay. It's the voodoo curse for me. Like Drake honestly feels way too comfortable telling y'all about the voodoo curses, okay? Way too comfortable. A man from Canada, okay? Just letting you. It's like what? Hey, like who do you know that's up in like out here? Just you met some Haitians. You met somebody who was out here doing that stuff, bro. Because there's no way. There's no way. Like nah. Because Drake not about that life for real. That's why he used voodoo. Yeah, man, feel how you feel about that. I don't condone voodoo. I don't like. I've dealt with voodoo practitioners before. We don't really slide. You don't really slide together. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Especially since like my ex situationship, right? His whole family was in that stuff, and nah. You know what I'm saying? No, nope. So yeah, just no. So it's like, hey, if you mess with that stuff, fine. Just don't come over here with it. You know what I'm saying? Okay, I'm not. Mm-mm. Right, because I am about that life. So don't, please don't. So you don't have to experience that. Okay, right. So hi, Marissa. How you doing? How you feeling? Right, like I don't even have to be about that life, to be honest with you. My ancestors are, right? Like they will go handle it before I even get the chance. Like, ooh, don't let her crash out. Let me go ahead and handle this for her. You know what I'm saying? Like I tell you, okay, recover and crash out, right? So I have to do things differently to make sure that my energy don't spike in certain places, especially when it comes to anger. Okay. One of those. All right. Y'all know I'm not I'm not perfect. I'm still working on myself, okay? But like seriously, I don't be playing those games. Oh, his name is Tyson. He be around. Where'd he go? Oh, he's behind me. I was like, where is he? Yesterday, he got out the door somehow because I didn't even realize it was cracked. And he always acts like he can't get out of the door when it's like a small crack. But I swear, when he's trying to get downstairs, he'll find a way. He's like, nah. But when he's coming upstairs and the door is cracked like this, he's like, how do I get through it? Looking at me like, I'm like, okay. You know how to open that door. Stop playing with me. Okay. It's so funny. But yeah, like that's why this is just gonna be very it's gonna be a very interesting time for this next year as we watch all of this unravel for them. You're talking the same, yeah. Like they know they playing games. Okay, right, they know, right, this is how this is unraveling for them. This is very like I don't know. Honestly, I'm having a good time with it. Right. I know for a lot of people it's gonna be scary. And especially for these groups here with this a lot of money. Okay, it's definitely looking very scary, very Friday the 13th for them. Right, looking like Jason finna come through. Okay, they don't know. All their dreams are being shattered right now. And honestly, that can be scary, you know what I'm saying? Because think about it, y'all, everything you worked for is being crumbled in front of your face, right? But it's like at the same time, you did all of that stuff out of pure hatred and evilness, right? Out of the principalities. Like you did this stuff not with any good intentions, you know? So is the illusion what you built or the mindset that you built, right? Is it really the matrix or is it the mindset that you were above it all? Right, that you were above divine judgment, you know, that you were above making your kingdoms that you built on falseness crumble. right? That these people that's why it's probably hitting them so hard right now. Okay. And I won't even say probably. This is definitely hitting them. Like, and I said I sense panic earlier. That's because this is literally causing them to panic. They don't know what to do. They don't know what to do. They just giving it out at this point. They don't know what to do. Okay, they are literally scrambling, right? That's why CERN doing all this stuff right now. Somebody was talking about it's a dog. I don't know if you could see where he went over there. He's cuddled up. It's Tyson. Okay. But yeah, like I've been seeing people talk about how certain people who already passed away. Oh, the guy from Home Alone, right? I swear to you, I swear to you, he passed away. He already passed away. He OD'd and everything. But they talking about he married and he alive and well. Like, he ain't not what? Hello? Swear. And you know how I know? It's because during that time, I was still on Snapchat, okay, and I was watching the little stories on Snapchat. And if you don't know nothing about Snapchat is messy. When it comes to the Hollywood occult stars, Snapchat is so messy and everybody's business, okay? Everybody's business, all right? If you didn't know that about Snapchat, everybody's business, okay? Messy, messy, messy. Okay, that's why I can't even be on there no more, because that's how messy it is, right? But literally, okay, I remember watching a video about him and about how he overdosed and about his whole story and why it was so tragic and sad and everything like that. I literally remember that. You know what I'm saying? Like how he went from this kid star to his whole life falling apart, because of everything he dealt with as a kid star. You know what I'm saying? And he literally, literally his life crumbled, overdose. I was like, so when I seen somebody saying like he's alive, I was like, huh? Swear to you, bro passed. Bro passed. You know what I'm saying? Because I could never look at the Home Alone movies again. You know what I'm saying? I could never look at them the same way again when I found out all that information. And I was like, oh God, that poor baby. He was used and abused. And we as a collective, we did nothing. How many child actors have come out and told us that Hollywood is weird? And we did nothing. I mean, I couldn't have done anything. I'm literally 23, guys. So by the time I was finding out about this stuff, what could I have done? You know what I'm saying? I was a kid. I was a kid with right along with them. So it's really like the adults knew and did nothing. You know what I'm saying? But now, as an adult, right now, I am also responsible for making sure that the kids are protected, right? Because that should have never happened. We should have never watched several child actors come out about how weird Hollywood was and never ask, who else is out here doing weird stuff? If all these weird stars are treating these kids like this, right? If they're treating these kids like this in Hollywood, right? What else is going on? But no, collectively, the adults chose to ignore it. That say a lot. That says a lot, doesn't it? Right? And now, everybody finding out that all of this was going on, it's like not only are they panicking, but the collective is really realizing how much they were not paying attention to, how much they literally let slide right under their noses and never did anything about it, right? And for some of these people, that's going to be very heartbreaking, right? Because how many people do actually care about kids, right? But just weren't paying attention, and for them to find this information out, right, it is very stressful. But that's why you need to stay grounded. That's why you need to keep your nervous system in check. That's why you cannot be out here feeling emotions in a way that gives off the energy. Okay? Channel those emotions into power, into creation. Okay? Don't just let them be used for something that you don't condone. Okay? Because right now, I'm gonna let you know right now, they are in this state, what I call the German panic, right? So if you know anything about the Holocaust, right now, what they're doing is trying to cover up their tracks as fast as possible. Before this information gets out, they're trying to destroy it all, destroy it all. And I can tell you there are camps with kids in them, locked in behind bars, right? I've seen it. in the 4D realm. Okay, I infiltrate a lot of government buildings in the 4D. Okay, right? That's why this government don't like me, because I'm always infiltrating something. Okay, I'm always in something I shouldn't be. Okay, all right, there, just with my soul, and then I bring the information back to my body, right? And it's like, oh, well, so I've seen these camps that they have, right, where these kids are some of them are feral, right? They don't even know what being a part of society is like anymore. It's very sad. Okay, but that's why, right, this is why they're in this state of panic. They don't want us to figure out any of this. You know what I'm saying? They don't want us looking into any of this, right? Literally, when they came into, out with the Epstein files, right, they were really hoping y'all looked the other way. They didn't even think they was gonna have to come out with those other 3 million, you know what I'm saying? But we're not looking the other way, right? And hi, Miss am I Lucius? Am I saying that right? Let me know. It sound like that. The last name from Empire. I don't know if y'all know what I'm talking about. Okay. Literally, there's so many shows that I probably like started the first season of, but then I couldn't get into it any further. Like, I don't know. That was, you get there, you get in that first season and you're like, oh, this might be good. And then you get to the second season and you're like, I think I'm gonna go watch one of my shows that I've already watched 5 times. You know, Avatar: The Last Airbender, Scooby Doo Mystery Incorporated. Just gonna go watch a show I've already watched 5 times. Another time instead of starting this new show over here. But literally, of course, the shows that I watched over 5 times, right, were Avatar: The Last Airbender, right, were Scooby Doo Mystery Incorporated. Like, those were my shows, you know what I'm saying? And you shoot, they still be having messages in them, okay? That Nibiru stuff, okay, that happened at the end of the, okay? And yo, Scooby Doo and Mystery Incorporated was that show. I'm gonna not even cap, bro. It was that show, because the end of the season was so good. The second season, bro, when they go into the Nibiru, and it's literally like they show you there are parallel universes, and they're like, there's the timeline, this evil being is trying to keep everybody on, right, and devouring the negativity, right, feeding off of all the negativity going on, right? That's why there was always somebody in a costume, okay? Like, right, that's why there was always weird stuff going on in that town, because the entity was feeding off the negativity in that town and keeping people afraid. Like, bro, like, I love that show, man, because then they showed, like, when they got rid of that entity, right, all the negativity disappeared. Everything, the entire timeline they were on, that parallel universe they were in, with all that negativity that entity was creating, it literally collapsed in on itself. And then poof, everybody else is in the new timeline, the actual peaceful timeline, where nobody went crazy, nobody was out here doing costumes and stuff trying to terrorize the town anymore. If you didn't watch Mystery Incorporated, okay, Scooby-Doo, I'm gonna let you know right now, you gonna need it if you if you want to understand what's going on right now, right, in this time period. You're gonna want to watch the show, okay? For obviously for learning purposes, not for entertainment and consumption purposes, but for learning why that show literally put that message in there, okay? As well as Avatar: The Last Airbender teaches you about how to unblock your chakra system. Good, like, I would at least watch that episode, you know what I'm saying? I would at least watch that episode, so you know how to unblock your chakra systems, because literally they go over it in that show, okay, all the way from the root to the crown, okay? He literally is talking about it like a river and unblocking the little passages of the river. It's really cool analogy. So literally go, if you haven't seen that episode of the show, go watch it, you know what I'm saying? Naruto, tells you how to control your chakra centers. Boom. There are so many shows that get spiritual, okay, that get very spiritual, that have spiritual messages in them if you pay attention, because it's in plain sight. You know what I'm saying? Everything, they tell us everything in plain sight when it comes to movies and TV shows. Everything, right? So yeah, like you just be paying attention. Yeah, because collective consciousness is expanding here, and these beings are getting their unwanted exposure, right? They didn't want this information to come out, guys. They didn't want you to know that the Men in Black was real. They didn't want you to know that slavery was still a thing. You know what I'm saying? They didn't want you to know that, they eat people, right? They didn't want you to know any of that. They didn't want you to know about the ritual sacrifices, right? They just didn't want you to know that any of that was going on, right? You asked how I could talk about it so plainly. I've known about it since 6 years ago. Right? I've known about it 6 years. I crashed out already, guys. I've had my moment. I had my moment already, right? So I'm not here to have another moment. I'm here to guide you guys so that you don't feed into this energy. Okay. But trust me, I already went through the emotions. I already went through this, okay? Because I found out 6 years ago when, if I talked about this stuff 6 years ago, I would have been locked up in the cuckoo house, okay, in the mental hospital, mental institute, where they would have had me in a straight jacket, and they would have been sitting there like, she talking about the government doing witchcraft. She crazy. Lock her up. You know what I'm saying? 6 years ago, that's where I would have ended up if I was out here talking about this stuff so open-heartedly. Right. And let's be honest, a lot of spiritualists have then ended up, right, especially in the beginning stages, right, that dark night of soul between the ego death, right, those little stages in between there, right, the psychosis stage, right, as well. So if you have to go through that psychosis stage because you don't realize yet that you have to let go of your ego in order to embark on this journey to enlightenment, right, then you're gonna have to go through that psychosis stage. You're gonna have to learn, right? Boom. Okay, so next we have people going through this stage. If you are in that psychosis stage, right, if you mandatory had to go through a mandatory psychosis, right, because you needed that lesson, okay, most of the time people get stuck in that, right? Not everyone makes it out, okay? People, if you are meant to make it out, you're gonna make it out. But if you are too rooted in your ego, it's gonna be a lot harder for you. Okay, it's gonna be a lot harder for you, right? So that's why, I make you guys aware of the psychosis phase so that you are prepared and you don't get stuck in it and you don't get locked up in a mental hospital. Okay, because many get trapped there, right? And it's going to be crazy, right, when all this information gets released, and the mental hospitals are going to have to release the people that have been talking like this for years, because it's going to come out that they were always talking about the truth. They just knew the truth way ahead of anybody else, right? So that's why I tell you guys about the psychosis phase, because they genuinely can get you in trouble with society, because society just wasn't there at the time. Now, you know what I'm saying? Now it's different. Now it's different. So, if you have to go through your psychosis phase, right, at least the information is being, everything, you're finding out is now being backed up, right, by actual physical evidence. You know what I'm saying? Not just your clear cognizance or your clear sentience, your clear abilities, right, and the research you've done because you were guided to do that research, right? So it's no more just that. Now there's actual evidence to back what we're talking about, right? So that's why, I sit on here openly and I'm telling you guys about the things that they're hiding from you, right? Because all of it's going to be revealed as truth this year, this year, this year, all of it. It's gonna be a lot, guys, so buckle in. Okay, if you didn't do your research previous years, this is going to be a lot, right? So alrighty, because they've been hiding parallel universes, the multiverse, a lot of different things from us. It's weird because we could have been so much more advanced as a society. You know what I'm saying? This is why I will not retract my statement about science being under advanced, right, and being very behind. I will not retract that statement, because until science gets it more advanced than where it's currently at, it is severely behind what it's supposed to be. Severely. And I will not retract that statement. I have felt that way a while now, a long while, because it doesn't add up. It doesn't add up, because how can people have these thoughts of creating flying cars, but then flying cars never happen because they, whoa, what's the reason again? Y'all know how physics works. Y'all know y'all can find something. Y'all literally make phones out of lithium batteries. If you don't stop playing with me, like, if you don't find you a source, if you don't find, like, no, how many things are on this planet? No, there's absolutely no way, right? And another thing, right, with the AI videos, because I've seen a video. I don't watch the presidential address, but somebody was literally picking out different things that were wrong with the presidential address, and how those were AI videos, AI generated videos, meaning it wasn't a live video, but it was made to be a live video. Okay. Let me see. Do 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 do. Da, 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 da. Dun, dun, dun. You said that 13 families are using sorcery. Yeah, they are. And the Rothschild's name just came out in the Epstein files. I'm probably gonna post a picture on my Threads account so that you can see that. And you guys keep asking about my dog. I guess he's a little furry guy, so he can look a little cattish, but he do be licking his paws like he's a cat. So that's yeah. Sometimes I think he thinks he's a cat too. But yeah, so everything that's coming out now, right, has been things I have been aware of for years, right? So I've had time to feel these emotions. I've had time to channel these emotions into better things, right? At this time, my role with the Epstein files is to call judgment on all the perpetrators, on all the guilty individuals inside the documents. And if you think the person is not guilty just because their name is in the files, I want you to think again. I want you to think again, because why are you associated with these people if you know what they're doing? That makes you an accomplice, right? Right. That makes you complacent, right? That means you're an accomplice, right? You knew what was going on, but you never rang the bell. You never told nobody. That makes you complacent. That means you knew what was happening and you allowed it to happen. You're guilty too, right? So it's not when people say, oh, just because they are in the Epstein files, right, doesn't mean they're guilty. So you hang out with Epstein and you don't think you're guilty? You know what I'm saying? You at parties with Trump, Epstein, and you don't think you're guilty? You know what I'm saying? Trump come into a party, talk about what bodies can we start dropping. Whoa. And people got to be like, it's not that type of party. What? Whoa, whoa, whoa. It's not that type of what? No. There should be no type of parties where we out here hurting people and treating humans like game, right? Whoa. Chill out. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not normal. So if you in a party and a bro come in talk about okay, where we start slicing the bodies at, like, you don't think you're complacent? You don't think that you're guilty? Why? Why wouldn't you think that they're guilty? If you're in the party area and then they talk about you could go hurt the puppies though. You hanging around this person? This is the type of people you allow in your company? And you think you're not complacent. You think you're not an accomplice. Okay, that's weird. That's weird. Right. That is very weird, guys. That don't even add up. It doesn't add up at all. Right? Why some people think they're not guilty of doing that. Okay. Da, da, da. And I wouldn't know how the climate in Africa is at this time because I don't live in Africa. So, right. I bet it's lovely though, you know. I hear they get good weather. I've never been to Africa. I do want to go. Someone said Nigeria has really pretty waterfalls, so I do want to go. Experience the scenery. Y'all know I'm a travel. I'm a travel junkie. I want to see the world. I want to experience the world. Okay, that is one of my personal goals this lifetime is to see the world. But yeah. Wait, it's madness and delusion. They're in this. They're being very delulu as the truth is being revealed. Okay, like they are really like this is a state of panic. Look at this. Look at the craziness in this card. Like this is their mental state right now. Okay, these deletes, the government, this is their mental state with all the truth that's being revealed. Okay, or see how she looking with her third eye, she looking with the spiritual glasses, not her regular eyes, right? You know what I'm saying? Like they, yeah. mm, mm, these individuals are spiraling. They are spiraling. They're definitely in survival mode right now. They're trying to survive. They're like, oh God, the people, oh God, you know what I'm saying? The people gonna get us. They're gonna get us. So they're spiraling. Oh God, this is funny. Why? Because this is their time. It's time for them to fall. And they don't get a say in this. You know what I'm saying? They do not get a say in this. As they can try with all their might, truly, they can try with all their might, guys, but it's really not gonna work out with them for them. You know what I'm saying? Especially when it's like, think about it in this regards. I swear to you, they believe that they're the Avengers. Like, think about it in the Marvel universe. These deletes, right? These government officials really think of themselves like the Avengers, right? Where they really think that, you know, they're the ones that, you know what I'm saying, are fighting for good, you know what I'm saying, and that they only have one chance to make sure that, you know, they win and that half of the population doesn't get a stink and everything. But it's like, think about it. They're putting themselves as the heroes and the truth of the matter as the villains. You know what I'm saying? As the people that want to eradicate what they worked for, you know what I'm saying, to build and everything like that. So it's very weird when you realize that the people aren't the heroes in the Marvel story. They're the villains. So they're the ones trying to destroy everything. You know what I'm saying? So they don't think of themselves as the villains. They think of themselves as the heroes. They think of us as the villains, right? The ones that want to stop what they build, the ones that want to come against them, right? You know, it's purple. Thanos is purple. Okay. Like the crown chakra energy, you know what I'm saying? And they're collecting stones that are literally what? Chakra energy colored. Like, come on, guys. Okay, consciousness is the bad guy here. Like, all right, that's what they're trying to get at in the Marvel movies. Okay, that us awakening consciousness is the bad guys because we would wipe them out. Okay, like, swear to you, they think they're the good guys in this. They feel like the victims. That's why they took their names out of that's why they're having their names be redacted out of the Epstein files, because they swear they're the victims, right? And it was like, no, they were the ones who tempted us, those Jezebel spirits. Like, y'all did the deed though. What you know, that's why they're trying to spark confusion. But definitely go look at that presidential address that Trump did recently, and spot out and see if you can use your spiritual discernment, your third eye, to spot out the AI mistakes, okay? Because there was quite a few of them, right? And it was like, so does Trump actually have dementia and they're just trying to hide it from the world? Right? He's really just a puppet king. He's really just a puppet king at this point. You know what I'm saying? He's just being used, right? You can take a picture of the bro because he's not going to talk. But as soon as you get the man to talking, you know what I'm saying? That's the issue. So they got to use the AI video and edit it so it, right, so it looks real, but then they don't catch the AI mistakes. This is why I say that AI generated videos were madly convenient. They were really convenient when they came out, right? And they were, of course, the crappy version of the protocol of the usage of it, because remember, AI generated content would be a very serious crisis if it had got out too soon, right? Which is why it was regulated, which is why I was looking this up the other day with ChatGPT, and literally, if it's a technology that could be used against you, right? Especially like ChatGPT, you know what I'm saying? That's why I call it a government bot to its face. But you know what I'm saying? Like that, like that, and like AI, these are things that the government had under wraps until it was time to use it, right? ChatGPT came out so conveniently at the time that it did. You know what I'm saying? And ChatGPT is just a government bot fed with information that from a government websites, from, you know what I'm saying, Google, another government account. You know what I'm saying? That those are all things that the government runs, but they put under other people's faces so that it looks like they run it. You know, my goodness, you could, you know, you see a nerdy little guy. He dropped out of Harvard. You know what I'm saying? You see a little nerd. You're like, oh, you know, what harm could he do? But then you find out the things these apps and these, you know, search engines are doing, and you're like, huh. I don't think they were that innocent to begin with. I think they took a deal, right? They took a deal and they decided to screw over the people with that deal, right? They said, oh, we need you for this role. Okay. What do I get? You get to be rich out of your wildest dreams. I'm going to make you something, kid. What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you get? I'm going to make your wildest dreams come true. You get everything. Really? And all I have to do is sell out the American people? Yes, that's all you have to do. Okay. Like, how many of them did? Okay. Sure. And now they're rich, living their best dream, right? Living their best life. Okay. Right. You know how many times how easy that was for some of these people, like, especially with the type of people they went for. You know what I'm saying? Harvard students, right? Very intellectual people, right? But so young, they were still easily manipulated. Right? They could still be manipulated into things like that, where okay, you're going to use this program, we're going to make it seem like you created this, you made it out the mud, everything like that, right? And I'm gonna let you be as rich as you want, as long as you keep acting like you're the one who did this, and you sign this NDA, and you never tell a single soul. Right? You must never tell anyone. Take it to your grave. That's how deep this NDA goes. Right? When does the NDA end? What do you mean? That's how they looked at them. Facebook, Google. That's how they looked at them. ChatGPT. They looked at them and was like, "So I need you to sign this NDA for me." All right. So when does the NDA, disclosure? When can I disclose the information about this? So right here on this line, it says, never, ever take it to your grave. We will put a red dot on your forehead if you expose this secret. And it was, okay, I'm signing. Okay, I understand. Let me go ahead and sign this paper. I will never tell a single soul. I will take it to the grave. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't think an NDA can make somebody take it to their grave? It very much can. Right. That's why they have the legal system set up the way they do, is so that these powerful individuals can ruin your entire life if you share a secret. That's why it's set up like this. You know what I'm saying? That's why it is put that way. So that if you share that secret, boom, I'm about to destroy your entire career, your entire life, because you wasn't supposed to share that secret. See, now, if somebody in that group were to decide they were going to become a whistleblower overnight one night, you know what I'm saying? They were like, I'm going to expose the truth. F the NDA. Well, in that disclosure, it also said they was gonna put a red dot, you know. So now they're a fugitive because now they gotta run from the law. Now they gotta, you know what I'm saying, pull stuff out there behind because now they are likely to get offed, right, and likely to have their story seen as conspiracy. How many times did that happen? Right. So just pay attention, guys. Pay attention because a lot is going on. A lot is being revealed, right? The collective is shifting in the God consciousness realm in our mental space, right? And we are curating justice, judgment, right? Love and peace at this time on this planet, okay? And we're not allowing any of these souls to any of these entities to get away with anything, right? This isn't like, oh, just because they used witchcraft and they worshipped these demons and everything, it's like, oh, they're gonna try to plead insanity. I don't want to hear it. Demons are real, so it's not insanity. They switched up. They chose up. You know what I'm saying? They chose a side, okay, that they wanted to be on, right? So they're gonna get punished. Don't worry about them demons. They're gonna get punished too by the creator, right? So don't worry about it. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody is gonna catch justice, okay? Everybody's gonna catch the hands when it comes to Lady Judgment, okay? All right. So is nobody is getting off because they, you know what I'm saying, worshipped demons. That's not how this works. No, I don't care if you worship the demon or not. You committed crimes against humanity because whatever your reasoning was, you still did the deed, right? So you still have to pay in the physical realm, in the spiritual realm, right? You still are gonna have to pay. That's how this is, right? These demons, they can only be in spiritual court, right? So they're gonna have to get tried in spiritual court too, because who do y'all think y'all are, right? So literally, the divine is gonna have to take care of them spiritually, and we are gonna have to take care of them physically. Okay, so these people, like I said, war criminals, every single last one of them, because of the things that they've done to humanity, right? Should be automatically, because this is a spiritual war and a psychological war, right? The Cold War never ended. As you can see, never do you see them saying, oh yeah, the Cold War is definitely over. The Cold War was never about, goodness, it was never about the other countries. It was about us, right? It was about us. Like, keep them in that state of fear, having them think we're gonna nuke them. You know what I'm saying? Keeps you in a state of fear, keeps you in a panic. See how much you really believe. Okay, as truth, as they lie to you about what is actual truth. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, this is all going in. You're from South Africa, period. How you doing? I'm doing good. Let me know down in the chat. So you're from South Africa. Love to see it. Love to see it. Okay, period. We get people all over the world. I love it. I love it. Period. Y'all know I'm in the United States of America. Born and raised. That's where I be. Okay. Born and raised. Did I grow up in a predominantly white area? Yes, I did. Okay. Most of my family's from the South. So sometimes, it come out. But I am technically from the North. It's just I got a lot of Southern family, okay? A lot. So trust me, I go down to Oklahoma, Louisiana, over to Atlanta, right? Georgia. So I come back with a whole accent, okay? Because Come back with a whole southern accent, man. Like, it's so funny. It's like because you hear the dialect and you're like your brain is like, I'm gonna match the tones of the dialect, right? It's swear to you. It's probably why my Spanish accent isn't that bad, right? Because I actually understand the tones behind the words and stuff, so I can actually sound like I'm native, right? Instead of sounding like I got still got my American accent, you know. Which I don't know. I wouldn't say super hard for a lot of people, but 'cause I've heard so many stories of people who like they go to somewhere else and then they got the accent when they come back, and you're like, bro, you were only there for a few days. And it's like, I'm sorry, my literally my brain has to readjust to the how we speak over here. You know what I'm saying? You know how many times my high school music choir teacher would talk about how the state we're in, right, how the northeast accent is so different from the south, like the south part of the state's accent, and it's like we're all in the same state, but it's like the accents are different. It's so funny. um but yeah, like, yeah, so nah, born and raised America. Okay, not proud of it. Really wished really wish it was somewhere else. You know, there are plenty of actual first world countries. America's not one of them. America is still third world if I've ever seen one. Okay. So, you know, you can't have this much homelessness and say you're not a third world country. For healthcare can't be expensive AF and not say you're a third world country, okay? Because first world countries have free healthcare, right? They are actually solving homelessness. See, that's a first world country. America is not that at all. It's a third world country. Very much so. Okay, they just like to prance and parade like they're first world, but they're not. That's why nobody really mess with America. You know what I'm saying? That's why nobody really mess with this country, right? Because they're bullies, and they be out here in the world talking about, I'm gonna have a sanction here, I'm gonna have a sanction here, I'm gonna have a sanction here. Like, you're not the Fire Nation. Chill out. Okay. Right. That's how I be thinking. I've thought of the United States of America, even though I was born and raised here, as the Fire Nation for a long time. For a long time. You know what I'm saying? That's why that's one of the shows I've watched over 5 times. You know what I'm saying? The Avatar, The Last Airbender. That's why I watched it over 5 times, because I really felt that the United States of America was the Fire Nation. Wants to divide and conquer and move out, trying to put their little stance in every little place they can. You know what I'm saying? Bullying governments. You know what I'm saying? Causing insurrections in governments and then putting their own little puppet head there. Like, if you think I think highly of this country, you're wrong. Okay, I don't think highly of the United States of America, and I stopped doing the Pledge of Allegiance literally in freshman year. I would not stand for that stuff. What am I pledging my allegiance to? A country that's so far up its own behind it don't even realize it? No. What? Heck you know. I ain't doing that. I stopped. After a while, it was really ludicrous to literally sit and think that we had to keep standing up day after day in school, pledging our allegiance to this country. Like, why? I don't care if I was born and raised here. If I want to take a knee, I'm going to take a knee. Because it don't stand for what it used to stand for. Right? Imagine how, right, you're like, the kids notice this in this country. The kids, literally, you know, no one stood up in my classes. Literally, by time senior year, we was all like this in the seat. Every time the Pledge of Allegiance came on, we was all like this on our phones, not paying attention at all. I don't even remember it, to be honest with you. I can't recite it. I used to when I was a kid. They had to stand up, like it was mandatory. When you were in elementary, when I was in elementary back in like basically 2008, right? All the way to 2014, I think. I don't know, guys. One of those. Because my freshman year was, yeah, 2016. Okay, so no, 2014 was into whatever math. Anywho, I will have to solve that later. I'm not doing that right now. But literally from elementary all the way to like eighth grade, middle school, right? They had us stand up. It was mandatory to stand up for the Pledge of Allegiance, you know, and do that whole spiel, hand on heart, like sitting there like, we were just doing the collective reading. No personal readings today, okay? That's tomorrow. Tomorrow we will do the personal reading. So that is for $5 or $10. I might do gifts as well, the TikTok gifts, so that it's easier on you guys on TikTok. YouTube, swear to you, if we were able to do gifts on YouTube Live, right, that would be your option too, but we are not there yet on YouTube, so we do have to keep using Cash App and PayPal for those of you on YouTube. Okay. I pray one day it'll be that easy for y'all to do it just like how TikTok do it. Okay, but we taking the time. Okay, this way you guys also know where to find it. For the 5 card and 3 card readings, not just for like the 1 card and stuff like that. You know where it is in the link. Okay. You know how to move around in our Linktree link and how to find us in different platforms and on in our our Brady Bunch hideout. Okay. Because I want you guys to just have all that stuff, especially if something happens to TikTok, right? We on YouTube. So, you know what I'm saying? If I bring back, I could, if something happens with TikTok, we got Twitch as well as another backup. There, I have so many backups for lives streaming that is at this point is really not a problem for me to switch on a different app. You know, that's why I never relied on TikTok alone or YouTube alone, right? Or Twitch alone. I never relied on one or the other more than the other. You know what I'm saying? It was just that TikTok, we were allowed to go live before we were allowed to go live on YouTube. That was about it. But because the great Lord blessed us with the ability to go live on YouTube, now it's like TikTok, you know what I'm saying? If you out here doing crazy stuff, you know what I'm saying, and something happens to the app, you know what I'm saying? We got somewhere else to be. We got other places where we can convene and have our discussions. Okay. So yes, use that link, especially if you do not subscribe to my YouTube channel yet. Keep that in mind. Twitch is also in there, Instagram, right? The Threads account, my business email for you guys to contact me at any time. I also give my business phone number out for you guys, so if you need to contact me, right? I don't give my own personal stuff out, right? Because it's just for safety and protection. Okay. Y'all already know my name, right? It's really no problem for you guys to know my entire first and last name because, you know, when I do get my degrees, and am a licensed practicing doctor, right, then, you know, it's my last name is gonna be out there anyway. So I don't, it doesn't really matter to me. So, you know, I'm just upset to have a last name that was, you know, by a slave owner. Right, and they're out here doing dastardly things with that same last name, right? No, it's the Collins. Okay, the Collins. I was thinking, but there are some wealthy white people with my last name, and that's how I know. I'm like, that's where those were our slave owners. Got it. You know what I'm saying? That's how I know. I'm like, yeah, those were our slave owners. Those were the people that owned my ancestors right there because we literally have the same last name because that's what the slaves took. They took the slave owners' last names. They didn't get to keep their original bloodline names, right? So that's how I put the 2 and 2 together for that, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, well, now I gotta make a name with that same last name for myself so that whatever dastardly things you're doing don't muck up this name. Right. So it's like, and I even met somebody in middle school who also had the same last name, but we're not like related or anything. And I was like, "Oh, you were on your ancestors were on the same plantation, weren't they?" Had to be, because we, that last name, and you black. Yeah. Your ancestors was on that same plantation. I see. Right. So, hi, hi, hon. How you doing? How you feeling? Let me know down in the chat. So, we aren't doing any personal readings. We'll be doing them tomorrow. Okay, it will be $5 or $10 for a 3 card or 5 card reading. Okay, or I'll have like a special for you guys tomorrow to do with the gifts. So so it's easier on TikTok for you guys, so you don't have to go over to PayPal and Cash App. But if you do want a longer reading, it is going to be only on PayPal and Cash App, right? Same with 30-minute sessions. Okay, so yeah, it's just it's just funny, like thinking about that, because that's the truth of the matter is that the slaves took their slave masters last name. Okay, so but I also uh when my grandmother passed, right, we went to a plot of land that literally had been there almost a decade after slavery. So that tells me that my ancestors were literally putting themselves in a plot of land for generations after generations after generations that they own, right? Like their own personal cemetery. Okay. And it was like, okay, so literally, I have proof that my ancestors have been here for a long, long time. A long, long time. Okay, do I want to give it to the government so they can try to go burn it down? No, I'm trying to make enough money so I can buy more land on it, and then I can buy something to protect it because it is kind of out in the open. So no, you know what I'm saying? I don't, need a family crest type of thing. Even though I want to be turned into ashes. Do not bury me on this planet. I do not want to be buried. Please turn me into ashes, okay? So that I can be free from this plane, okay? I don't want my body on this plane. I don't want nothing that is attached to my energy. And all right. How you doing? How you feeling? Boom. I understand if you compliment me, right? But don't not sexualize me. Um because you get banned. I don't care. Get out of pocket and you go. Even if it's respectful. Understand. Right? You know how many times my TikTok live has been sitting here talking about you're showing nudity and I'm fully dressed. Like I already get sexualized by the AI bot enough. Please don't do that in my chat. Right? I know the body is tea. You really don't have to tell me. I already know. I already know. Okay. I appreciate compliments, but literally, I already know, bro. I already know. All right. I'm doing good. Thank you for asking. Hi, how you doing? How you feeling? And it's so funny. Like the government thinks they're so slick. They think they're so slick. Like I won't see past them, right? So why was I on Threads, right? And I was like, somebody was like, oh, I think they were saying like delete TikTok or something like that, and they were talking about how the government has the phone, like are looking through the cameras and stuff like that, with all this new policy stuff that TikTok has going on, right? And I was like, my phone already tapped. They don't think I can't notice, but I literally can tell when my phone is on the freaking fritz. Like when it's acting crazy and like Siri be coming up at random times, nobody say her name, you know what I'm saying? Right? Like, okay, y'all listening, like, just be honest, you know what I'm saying? There's no reason for us to be playing games here, right? Like I could tell. Like it's so obvious when certain things are happening on my phone, you know, it's like what y'all think this is? Y'all must think I'm dumb, slow, or stupid or something, and I'm not, right? So it's like, come on now, right? So my response to that post was that I already know that they've tapped my phone, you know what I'm saying, and they can continue to, right? They can continue to listen to the conversations that I have about them because I be calling them all types of names, so they can listen. You know what I'm saying? I don't think very highly of them, and they know that. They know that. I don't think very highly of them, and they know that. And I make sure they know that. You know what I'm saying? Because I over here calling them a whole bunch of different names, calling them cowards repeatedly. I'm not gonna share the names that I call them because you know what I'm saying. But it's trust and believe they get called out of their name constantly. Okay, out of their name constantly, and I don't care if they're listening. Okay, because it's like so put it right here then. So what are you gonna do about it? You know what I'm saying? Show me you really about that life then. You know what I'm saying? And I told them, I was like, put me in the database. I was like, put me in the database because I'm a threat. I'm a danger to their entire illusion crumbling. So they'll put me in the database. Go ahead and know about me because I am a threat. You know what I'm saying? I will establish that with the government. I am a threat to you because baby, my intuition, my third eye, my spiritual discernment is going to clown you on every plane. Okay? Simple as that. It's as simple as that. Well, and we are going to keep bringing in love, justice, and peace to make sure that everything they built, okay, I love that. Like I said, I'm getting to my point. To make sure that everything they built, right, is finito, done. Can't live here no more. Can't stay here. All right, they gonna have to go meet the Lord. You know what I'm saying? Simple. Right, because I'm going to make sure it happens, right, because of the gate program, right, because of you know what I'm saying, what my father experienced in their military and how it, you know what I'm saying, it's been personal for a long time, not emotionally personal, but it has been spiritually personal with this government for a long time coming. Okay, like it's been a long time coming, like it's really personal at this point. Like y'all, okay, so y'all went ahead, y'all did a bunch of tests on children, right, to see if their spiritual gifts, right, okay, it's where'd it go, right here, right, to see if they had spiritual gifts, to see if they were star seeds, right, to see if they could astro project, to see if they can use their intuition at a high level at a young age, right? And my thing is, you didn't catch the really good ones. That's what the thing about the gate program that blows my mind is that they really thought that they were gonna catch the super old souls, that they really thought they were gonna catch the very highly divine, you know what I'm saying, the divine soldiers, you know what I'm saying, because when I got pulled out of the class, those memories are fuzzy. I can remember things from the moment I was 2. I can have memories from 2 years old, but first grade through fourth grade are fuzzy as heck. Right? And mind you, I was already reading above my grade level in first grade. Already reading above my grade level. Okay. Boom. All right. Like I'm reading closer to fifth grade level books in first grade. Right. So they would when they would claim they were pulling me to the side, right, for extra help, you know what I'm saying, and it wasn't extra help because why did I need extra help if I'm already advanced? Right, so that, right, the dreamscape dreams, right, because I've been having dreams since I was a kid, since I was basically 2. That's how much I can remember, guys. So it's the fact that school is the blurriest for me, that the memories don't come as they should, right, because I literally can remember things from so young, from like literally down here. I'm a baby myself still. I can remember things, right? As you know, I'm 23. I can still remember things from when I was 2. That's but when they would pull me to the side, I remember telling myself, like intuitively, I remember telling myself to lie, play dumb, right? And basically mask my intelligence, mask what I knew, right? Mask my intuition, mask it, right? I was basically intuitively told myself, don't don't fall for this. Like don't fall for this. My soul was like, nah, they not slick, bruh. They not slick, right? And boom, after that, after like that time, okay, it was like they kind of stopped, right? They didn't do too much, because I fooled them successfully, you know what I'm saying, as a child, right? And it was like, of course I'm probably still on their radar of like, they tap my phone, so of course I'm on their radar, but it's like they really thought I wasn't going to be a threat. That's what it was. They thought that they would be able to, give me a handler. They'd be able to, orchestrate events in my life to keep me down. You know what I'm saying? To keep me from experiencing my power. But truly, after high school, literally after my senior year, all the illusions stopped. All the illusions, everything they tried to indoctrinate me in, all of it gone. All the work they tried, boom, gone. My consciousness expanded at that moment. They were like, "We out of the school system? Bet." Like my ancestor spirit guys were like, "We're out of the school system? Bet. Oh God, get her. Make sure she can't go down that route. Get her." Like they were like, "Pull her back to destiny." They were like, "We just had to fool them people. We had to fool them. Come back." Like it was so funny because it was like, oh yeah, we fooled them good, huh? They should have got me when they had the chance. I was in their grasp. They should have had me when they had the chance. I'm like, it's like the government really thought they went for the right ones, but those were the new souls. Anyone that revealed themselves in those programs were brand new souls. They were not the old advanced souls. Right. So that's why there's so many advanced souls still running around on this planet, still causing mischief for the government for these deletes. Because a lot of us evaded them. A lot of us sat there and were like, haha, try again. Not us. And it makes sense. Like when I was watching the one girl's video about it, and I was like, she was like, something told me to lie, and I was like, that's crazy, because when I was in those extra help classes, I strongly feel the intuitive feeling to literally just lie. Like, don't tell them the truth. Don't, you know what I'm saying? Because mind you, I was very intuitive as a kid too. I had prophetic dreams as a kid too. You know what I'm saying? I astral projected like a mug as a kid, you know what I'm saying? And it's just that they could not. They knew I was powerful, but they just could not figure out how powerful, how advanced, because I didn't I didn't let it on. You know what I'm saying? It also was like, who would believe me? You know what I'm saying? As a kid, it's like nobody's talking about these kind of things, so who would believe me when I'm talking about these things as a kid, right? So, that was another reason I didn't share about my gifts, right? And then I was like, oh, um, it's intuitively, I would tell you what the meaning and everything like that is, right? I'll break it down, but then it's all intuitive after that, right? We're talking about like the Four of Wands. I'm gonna break down what the meaning of Four of Wands is, but intuitively with the context of the reading, right, is can have a different meaning than the textbook definition. Okay. So yeah. Yep, that's all intuitive gifts, right? I use all my clair abilities to get that done. So, what you call it? Yeah, so anyway, I posted that, right? I was like, put me in the database, okay, because I'm a threat to everything they built, right? When it comes to the illusions that they built around this world, right? I'm a threat. Okay, so boom, right? And then why not even like an hour or so later, this guy and like the picture is like of a guy in an army suit, and I'm just like hi, like, and I'm like, oh, you think you're so slick, military, huh? You think I don't see right through you? Yeah, I said put me in the database, and what about it? And what about it? Okay, my intuition is so strong. I know you're coming before you even come. Y'all should have got me when you had the chance. I don't know what to tell you, gang. You really should have got me when you had the chance. Right? Like I said before, I will not get done like Dr. Sebi. I will not get done like XX Tentacion. I will not get done like Princess Diana. I will not get done like these individuals who had very much a lot of information, good hearts, and wanted to spread love, justice, and peace in this universe and open conscious mind. You know what I'm saying? Because here's the thing: Princess Diana would have exposed the royal family for who they truly were. That's why they had her offed. Right, Martin Luther King Jr. would have told the black community that they need to go ahead and pull their money out them white banks immediately. That's why he got offed. Right, XXXTentacion was telling people, boom, I need you to awaken your consciousness. Stop thinking in this lower vibrational entity and awaken your consciousness. That's why he got offed. Boom. Dr. Sebi cured cancer. That's why he got offed. Right? So literally everything, okay, everything. And Princess Diana was literally on the verge of exposing the royal family for being disgusting. Okay, so are you talking about your zodiac signs? Hard for me to ignore you when I'm looking straight at you. And guys, if I'm in the middle of a thought, I'm in the middle of a thought, right? My brain does 5 million different things at once, right? So if I'm in the middle of a thought, I'm in the middle of a thought. Simple as that, right? So when I get to your comment, I get to your comment. Okay, right? What we're not gonna do is try to, when I literally, because I'm channeling. So if there's something I need to get out, it needs to get out. It needs to be said right then and there, right? Otherwise, I'll lose it, right? And boom, you know what I'm saying? Now I'm trying to figure out where I was at. So if I don't get to your comment right away, it's because I'm in a middle of a thought. Okay. Alrighty, it's not because I'm trying to be rude and ignore you. Everybody is seen and heard here. Okay, it's because I'm in the middle of a thought. That's it. Right? So yeah, you're talking about the zodiac signs. This is an oracle deck. This is our Pure and Toxic Cards oracle deck. I do have my Moonology deck that helps more with zodiac signs, right? But at the same time, I'm not a big astrology like doer. Like, I know that astrology is super complicated. I research astrology, but when it comes to telling you something that I'm not fully well versed in, I'm not gonna do. Right. I rather guide you to somebody who's well versed in astrology than, tell you anything. Okay. Because astrology is literally way too, you know what I'm saying, way too complex to just try to understand, basically, right? Like, just throw things out there about that stuff. Okay, you said look too young. I am 23. I'm grown. You were talking about existential. Like I said, don't sexualize me. I will literally just get you out of my life. You will get access removed from me. That's just how I am, because respect. Simple. But yeah, I was talking about XX Tentacion. Yeah, my day's going good. Thank you. Like, I was just saying, TikTok literally. Yeah. Well, TikTok will literally flag my live with what was it? The one day I literally had a shirt that even covered my shoulders, like right here and everything, something like around here, and like it was literally full coverage the shirt, but because it was cold and my nipples were hard, it was like, "You're showing nudity." And I was like, "TikTok, you can't see nothing." Like, chill out, chill out, chill out. Like, there are actual people on the on especially on TikTok. From what I hear, like, I'm not on that side of TikTok, but from what I hear, there are people literally on TikTok, doing things that you would think are like only fan content. So it's like, chill, TikTok. It's not that way over here. Chill. Okay. Yeah, but my day's going good. I do actually have to get going because I have somewhere to be. So I gotta go do that. Yeah, but it has been a great time talking to all of you guys, right? So tomorrow, if you need a personal reading, right, you have a question that you want answered, a yes or no question, or a 3 card question, or a 5 card question that you want more information on, okay, then where we can go more in depth about in the reading, right? So those will be for tomorrow, right? Usually on Thursdays. That's usually when we do it. Thursday, Thursday, Thursday. The clearest place to see it is on Instagram, okay? Because Instagram does, I have like the schedule literally in the highlights. So it's easy to find it there versus trying to scroll through a bunch of videos, short videos, or a bunch of videos on TikTok to find the schedule. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so remember, we speak love, justice, and peace into this universe, okay? Because that's what we want to see. All right. And y'all have a blessed day, okay? Amen. I will see y'all next time. Let's see, we can do this at the same time. We go live every day around 9:30 usually, unless I put out an announcement otherwise, okay? Alrighty, and